What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fire, Eric Sheets Haber. We're going to be talking through this MLB slate, then the NBA slate. A few different lineups came out different than earlier, so just beware. Just make sure you're obviously updating. You're still going to want to late swap and stuff like that. But yeah, I was just telling Sheets pre-show. For me, it's not a show I want to get heavily involved in a ton of different stacks, and I've kind of got like two that stand out, and then three others that are like partial stacks, and then I'm gonna let SaberSim do its thing for the building process. A little bit different than what I usually do, and I think it's probably for the best because I kind of had a little bit of a baseball downswing, even though it's obviously been a great year so far in general. Sheets, any overall thoughts or anything before we start talking about what we're getting and all that stuff?
Well, I just updated the projection, so I'm going to look at them right now, and then we're going to build. No new weather concerns, I presume, came out. And all
I
that
gotta double check that in a minute. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So first of all, as far as pitching goes, I still have. Well, I have. What's changed a little bit as far as at least my DraftKings projections. I have Dylan Cease still clearly the top one, but I don't have Ben Brown as like clearly number two anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I have him number two, but I what snuck up there a little bit actually is the Jack Leiter somehow.
that makes sense.
Getting a little closer. Let's put it that way. So I think it's more like Cease plus a bunch of others, like Cease, then Brown, Leiter, Senga, and Schmellenbach, as opposed to earlier today where it looked like Cease, Brown, and then the rest.
Yeah, I'm still getting to Cease Brown and then the rest.
Well,
Personally,
I didn't know what I'm getting to. I'm just talking about the projections for now.
oh, gotcha.
And then,
I think I have more Brown. Go ahead.
and then as far as the stacks go, I still have Texas projecting like through the roof, and then Arizona, Tampa, Dodgers, and then next group would be Atlanta, KC, Mets. I mean, all of them. Cubs, Toronto. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the next group, and that's what I would get to. Whatchamacallit, projection wise, FanDuel as long as I'm here. Cease well above, then Brown, and then as far as stacks, Texas, Dodgers, Atlanta, Cubbies a little better as it was earlier on FanDuel because I guess it's just easier to get them in as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Good.
I get that. SaberSim wanted to give me all of the, and I don't even mind taking some. This is one I don't mind taking some contrarian shots, but like part of why I thought that Ben Brown, I was curious if you were getting him, was because all of a sudden, and by the way, that the wind's a little bit higher than it was earlier. It was 5 miles an hour. Now it's 8.
Okay.
The run line has come down a little bit in that game.
In the Ben Brown game?
Yeah, but it kind of is annoying to me because I really want to play these Cubs. So I just think it's the best matchup, and I think that the ownership should go there, but it's not. So maybe I lessen a little bit on that, but I do have Brown and well, so SaberSim was giving me all the Marlins against Brown earlier, and now it's not happening so much. I still am getting to some Texas, even though it's not going to be like they might be a complimentary stack in my big buy-ins. They're not going to be my main stack. I just don't. What are we doing with this team? Like what do they? I like their talent. I thought they're way underperforming this year in general, and they're missing. Well, what would you consider coming into the year? Obviously Seager's their best hitter, and it's just not like Josh Jung has been terrible. He's batting third for them. Adolis
Garcia has been awful.
He's been terrible. He's batting cleanup. And I mean, all of these guys. Simeon's been terrible. He's batting fifth, like terrible. It's actually kind of amazing that this team is near 500. And as I like to throw out sometimes is that I'm not so sure that on the road that Freeland is so terrible between having to pitch in Colorado and face the Dodgers and Padres, who are like probably the two best teams against left-handed pitching. Oh, and the Diamondbacks would be the next. It's just a tough road for him. So I don't know why. Like, I just don't want to play that Texas chalk as much, at least on my high buy-ins. If SaberSim gives me some, I'm going to end up with some of it. That's so be it. But I don't love that idea. I like the Cubs and Dodgers, and I like Atlanta, San Diego, and the Athletics.
What about Max Fried?
I like Max Fried. So
Good.
I actually forced in some ownership on him, but I'm still not getting that much, to be honest with you, because tell you what, these sims and everything really wants me to play to play these the what's it called? The Brown and C's. And partly it's because Brown and C's make everything affordable on top of like being good plays. You know, like they have the highest projection and they're the cheapest, you know, or they're cheap. I should say. Fried is probably going to be lower owned than I can't say should, but would be ordinarily. But I guess you could say should. So on FanDuel, I'm basically like, I really have a narrow, like, I don't even, I was trying to find a take. I guess maybe I'll do that in one of my bigger buy-ins is just force Max Fried into one of the pitching spots, because I do think he has the upside to win the whole slate. And I don't think we have to just like avoid Brian Wu and Max Fried and Sanga, and when everybody's going to be playing the Brown and C, or at least Sabersim keeps wanting to give me. I think you can spread out. It just feels weird, like on a big slate where we have a lot of pitching options, even though they're not like amazing. It kind of feels weird to me, though, to be like just eating the Dylan Cease chalk and rolling on with it. When have we done that, you know, on a big slate? Except for the fact that he's 8,300. So that's the only thing.
That's the thing. He's 2,000 too cheap. I mean, he just is.
Right, for the spot, too.
Yeah.
DraftKings used to do a really good job with this kind of stuff. Like, it's just there's too many sports and stuff now. But like back in the day, they would change everything for every matchup. You know what I mean? And now it's like you get the Coors bump, and that's, you know, even FanDuel does a better job doing that than they do. So
did O'Neal Cruz ever come back? I mean, I know the Pirates just came out. He's out again.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I mean, that Pittsburgh team, for those of us who had some stacks with them because we played on SaberSim, it was not a fun road to go there. You know? No,
it sure isn't. It sure isn't.
They had the 2 solo home runs from the bottom of the lineup from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who of all active players, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he went the longest without hitting a home run. It was something like 900 or 800 and something at bats at one point. That's really hard to do.
And then you get the stolen base out of Triolo or something like.
Yeah, Triolo with 2 stolen bases. Yeah, that's right, and that's it. But yeah, and again, there's not like great hitting weather games. I'm gonna take another look at this. What do you think? You're obviously in New York. Do you have any worries about this Mets game?
No, I mean, not really. It's fine to me.
Okay. Just Roth just has it as yellow, but he's at Disneyland, so I don't know.
It says light rain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Mets will play. I have to say, though, we got it. If this was Washington, I probably just exit out. Like, I don't even want to mess with Washington on yellow on anything. They just are. It happens so often. Remember, it happened the last time it came up between us.
Yeah.
And we had a little battle over whether we should fade them or not. And I didn't know. Anyway, Atlanta's the other one with a little bit of pop-ups. Why isn't Atlanta the chalk today?
You asked me that earlier.
Maybe I should put my money where my mouth is and get a little bit more of that.
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, it's not the best walks lineup that they've ever. Oh my God! But you got Drake Baldwin super cheap and catching and batting 5th. Feels like you could against Mike Soroka. I mean, we could do some business here. I think that's what I want to do. Now that I think about that, so that'll be my third team to get in there. But and I expect them in higher buy-ins to be higher owned than whatever you guys are seeing, because I just don't buy that this is not a like. It's a really good. And also a good hitting park. You've got the over 5 run total now. You have strength top to bottom on the offense, kind of. Just a lot of guys who have sort of played down this year, but I don't care about that.
All right, so I'm going to go over like who I have and like my plan for the slate. So again, it's a nice little late swap slate. Bugs Black Blood, late swap slate. Because you have this little gap between 8:10 and the 9:40 games that you can take some stock and see what's going on. And if you really wanted to, you can sneak in between 8:15 and 7:15, 7:40, whatever. So right now, I didn't do just so you guys know, I did ask for 5-man stacks, and I did have 49,000 minimums. And I didn't do any min unique stuff. I'm playing the Mega 8s, I'm playing the Ball 4, I'm playing the Battery, and I'm playing 60 in the Bat Flip. And as usual, I'm only playing one in the big buy. I only ever play one in the big buy. Except like a FanDuel when they have like the 250, I'll play like 3 or whatever, something like that. But okay, so with that said, let me pull up.
I'll answer the question in chat real quick while you're doing that. We got Corey asking about the Mitch Keller. So he's been horrendous, like in real life. Like, forget the actual stats. All the numbers don't look good for him in general. He can't actually. His numbers look terrible every which way you look at it. And he's facing one of the best offenses in baseball. So if he ends up in a lineup or two of mine on DraftKings, yeah, he may. And he's cheap. I get it. He's also been, in small sample, good against this team. I just don't think you need the extra 2,000 that much below the other guys. So I'm not playing much of Mitch Keller. It is something I do at times, but I'm not going to do it today on a 12 gamer.
So I have my exposures here. There's a guy that I want to talk about that I only have 1% of that I'm going to get to in a second, pitching wise. So pitching is literally not the slightest bit of surprise. Like, I have the highest exposure is Dylan Cease at 54%. Then almost right along the projections, I have 27% Ben Brown, 25% Senga, 22% Leiter, 20% Free, 12% Schwellenbach. Okay. The guy that I just feel we should have more of is Robbie Ray. He's, first of all, it's sort of revenge too, if that means
that goes the other way for me.
I know.
On the other side of that.
But I think I'm going to have the Arizona. I haven't even checked to see what I have yet. But I guess he's 9K. If you were like 8K more, I would feel a little more annoyed that I don't have him. All right, fair enough. I'll live with that.
Well, I mean, he's got the talent to win, so you can't be wrong. Like, it's just what range of outcomes do you get tonight? Now he is pitching in San Francisco. That's good. This Arizona team scares the hell out of me against lefties, but I don't think that what I like about the Robbie Ray is like he could just have like a normal. He could end up being the highest scoring pitcher on the slate, and it wouldn't be like at all surprising. So I think maybe to get to a little bit of it is not the worst idea in the world. I've got 1.5% too, but I don't hate it.
So I literally am getting the 3 stacks I want to play the least. I mean, literally the 3 stacks I want to play the least. Actually, that's not true. So I'm getting top owned is Atlanta. Excuse me, is the Angels. Okay, against Cease. Second owned is Miami against Ben Brown. And then the third most highest owned is the one I want to play even less than all of them, and that's Texas. It's like I have 2 low owned stacks that have no chance, and 1 high owned stack that I think is fishy. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. The next highest owned I have right now on DraftKings is of course the Washington Nationals. So right now I have a full 1% of the Dodgers, who I think were my favorite stack earlier today. I have a full 6% of Arizona, who I was getting 45% of earlier today. So we're going to have to reach deep and see what I want to do here. On FanDuel, let me just see. I am afraid. I'm like, what was from the fly? Be afraid, be very afraid. So in pitching, listen, you can't have it both ways. You can't have chalk of everything. So basically, I have this whole Dylan Cease game on DraftKings, right? So I have Cease and Angels. That's what I have. On FanDuel, Cease I have 42% of, then 15% Freed, 15% Senga, only 11% Brown, 8% Schwellenbach, and sprinkles out of Barrio and Wu. And then as far as the hitting goes, over there, we have Texas, Washington, Arizona, and San Francisco. So
I don't mind that Washington idea.
Okay.
That seems like a good lottery play to me.
Okay. So I still have that Arizona San Francisco game stack here, sort of on FanDuel, which I like.
What I like about that too is you can't like the Diamondbacks especially are expensive. And you could pivot to the Dodgers if you have good things going and you want to do that.
Yep, absolutely.
That's completely viable. So I like the later games. I think they make a lot more sense. I think what you said sort of has sold me on the idea of getting to more Arizona, just because I don't like I think that there is upside for them, and I can always switch. Like I don't need to stick with it.
Right.
I think that is kind of interesting, and I like this Diamondback. I mean, in general, when I can play them, I'd rather play them when they're in Arizona and the roof's open. But I think that it makes some sense to get some exposure there. And to be honest, if you're for multi-entry, I'm not max entering, but where I have $100 lineups in the $3 on FanDuel, I'm going to get some Robbie Ray and some stacks of Arizona separately, obviously. I do love Rody. You missed what I said at the beginning. Oakland's one of my five. Oakland's one of my big five today. They're my fifth favorite of the five, but I do think that there's some love for Oakland. And the Dodgers have 14 pitchers on the injured list, which is the most in Major League history. Obviously, it's kind of crazy. Landon Knack pitched well in one game against Miami. I think that there is extreme upside against Landon Knack here. So I like it. On top of it, it's I guess the negative thing, it's been so hot here. It was 111 the other day. Tonight it's only 64. That's the one downside, I guess, of the A's. But I do think the A's are extremely viable and will be completely unowned. So I'm into that idea. And I'm just waiting for we still don't have a Cubs lineup, which means that we might not get the best Cubs lineup because that game is not that far away. That's in an hour and 40 minutes. That's
I have to step away for just a couple of minutes. I'll be back.
Yeah, and I'll talk just a little bit more about this. What else do we have? I think that I'm going to rebuild, and I think I'm going to sell myself on Atlanta, as makes a lot of sense. That's where I'm at right now. I'd like to get a Cubs lineup in at some point so I can sort of like get an idea. I know even if we don't have the late game lineups, that's fine with me, but I would like to at least have an idea with the Cubs why it's taking so long. It just gives me the feeling somebody good is sitting. All right. Oh wait, did we get one? I just got a refresh button. Nope, we still don't have it. All right, who else? Again, I'll just reiterate my things. Brown and Cease do stand out, but again, if you want to get different, you have a lot of options. Senga, Schwellenbach, Leiter, Valdez, Fried, and Wu for me. And I really think that I like having less stacks today, so I'm going to be a little bit more buttoned up. I do think there are a couple one-offs. Let me just grab my notes here because I made a one-off. I posted all my exposures for Showdown, so Corey. So if you're still a member of the site, you can check it out. If not, I'm not going to get into that one right now. But if you are a member, I did post what I got. All right, let's see. Let me just see really quick. What did I put down here as some one-offs? Let me see something real quick. I thought I had somebody. I like Rooker. I like, as far as one-offs go, I like Freddie Freeman, who will be a lower-owned Dodger, which seems bizarre because he's been the best player in baseball, not named Judge. So you make sure to get some Freeman in your stacks. I like Tatis. Who else did I have on my list? I'm just trying to find it, and I'm trying to remember it while I can find it. Austin Riley. Basically the whole Cubs team, but again, not the greatest hitting conditions, which is not my favorite thing, but we've seen him do it enough times this year. All right, should I set 30 min exposure? I don't know. Do it, Demetrius. No, I didn't do that. I think I set 10, but you can do whatever you want. I think that they're a viable stack. I've got them rated fifth for me. It's sort of between them and the Athletics. They're also really expensive. So it's not like you're getting a discount, and they are playing in San Diego, which is not a bonus for them. The T's is 6.2. Yeah, they're really expensive. Merrill's 6K. It's tough to get them in. So if you can find a way to get them in, congrats. But I don't know. You're going to end up with some really weird pitching and some weird like one-offs that are 2K that are batting ninth or something. That would be my prediction for that. I'm going to rebuild again in a little bit, and I'll update people on the site about what I'm doing, so you know what to fade. Just kidding, but it has been that way with the not with the NBA, with the MLB. Should we talk a little NBA, Sheets?
I think that's a good idea. I could build the NBA live if you want.
Go ahead.
What's going to happen? First of all, I presume Mitchell's playing.
I'm sure he's playing. I'm not even treating that like a real thing. I hope the projections aren't. I mean, whatever. Bump him up like if they're taking any account, he's going to play. He's not playing an elimination game. Just not going to happen. And he was at shoot around today. So, all right. So,
I mean, do you do anything like leave money on the table on purpose in these 2 games? I haven't been doing anything. You know, no. I've just been playing exactly the same, like as if it were a full slate.
Yeah, I tweak the projections.
Okay.
Sure. And I also sometimes, I actually think I've got a pretty decent feel for what these guys should be projected at. I disagree with where Saberson has them quite often. So I like tweaking a little bit those projections.
Well, you know what? You've always been really good with, especially in the playoffs. Making adjustments based on how teams been playing and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm trying to capitalize, and it's tricky tonight because I have a feeling we might get 2 blowouts. Now Cleveland's going to play their guys to the max because they got to win. Obviously, it's a must win. Nobody else has to, so I would lean bumping up Cleveland starting lineups.
Okay.
I would lean bumping down starters for Indiana, maybe bump up McConnell and Matherin on the bench, just a point or so. You don't need to do much, That's one thing you learn. You can do a little bit more than you want, you get all of it. I think if you're there's 2 ways to play with this Jokic thing, because if you think the game stays close, Jokic is going to be not a must play, but he's probably going to have a huge game tonight on the road, especially like the one game they won on the road. So Jokic and Westbrook would be the 2 that I would look at from OKC.
Can't imagine. 1 second.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, Jokic and Westbrook from Denver. But I like Porter if you think this game stays close. I just have my doubts. So I did bump Westbrook up. I bumped Jamal Murray down. I think he's getting too much ownership in general for a guy who's as volatile as he is in a very tough matchup. And I always bump Jokic up like a point, just because I think that there's so many games he has on a 2-game slate where you absolutely need to have him. And then I just think Jamal Murray is the one that I can talk myself into getting more on the fade trade. Now, can he go crazy and have one of his games? Yeah, but he's going to do that more often at home than he is on the road. And the problem is with the Nuggets, they don't play that many guys, so you kind of you have to get exposure to all of them. I would encourage people to get a little bit of exposure to Peyton Watson, just because if this game does get ugly, you might get like 16, 17 minutes, which means like 18, 20 fantasy points at minimum cost. I would do that. In terms of OKC, the guys I like the most are Hartenstein, because the whistles are going to be swallowed more at home, so he's not as likely to get into foul trouble. I think you should leave Shea probably at his high projection rate where he belongs. And I think that Wiggins, Jalen Williams is more like a play for the other side, but the one who gets underprojected in terms of, or I think underprojected, I think Chet, and he also ends up lower owned. So I guess Chet and Jalen Williams without J-Dub, Jalen, those would be my 2 favorites, along with Hartenstein from OKC. So those are sort of the ones I'm looking at.
What do you think? Jokic is owned tonight in the lottery.
Somewhere in like the 30 something some odd percent range.
Yeah. Do you think it's closer to? I mean, this is splitting hairs. Like closer to 30 or 35. You think?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Right in there somewhere. Okay, that's
probably. I guess it could. Yeah, it probably is right around there. I don't know. It feels like a good number to me.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting though is you do have a lot of centers that have played. Like you have Jokic. That's why it's in the 30. Like Hartenstein, Turner. These guys have all, and Turner's been great in this postseason. So you have like some natural. Obviously that eats the position up. So I'm just double checking. God, it's so slow on my thing. Jokic. Oh, and well, Mobley plays forward eligibility, but Jared Allen also is completely viable today, in my opinion.
This is actually really interesting. So I don't think that there's ever been a slate where I've had Evan Mobley as my top owned player, and he gets his turn today. It looks like I
think he's my highest owned as well.
Oh, that's great. Okay, as I say, it's kind of an odd guy to have as your highest owned player, but I guess he makes everything work somehow, right?
He's too cheap. In a good matchup. I mean, like this is a matchup that we would be circling during the regular season. I bumped up Mobley, Garland, Mitchell, and Jared Allen. I want to be overexposed to this Cleveland stuff because they're going to tighten their rotation up. You could probably argue that they should do it with DeAndre Hunter also, because I think they're going to tighten their rotation up because it's a game. It's an elimination game. And
what's the score again? 3-2?
3-1 Indy.
3-1. Okay.
I still think Cleveland wins this series, though. That's my bold take. As long as
that's so that's 3-1 Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And what's the Oklahoma City one?
2-2.
That's 2-2. Okay.
But that's Willie's saying exactly what I just said that I'm doing. Jamming more cabs in. That's what I'm doing. Unfortunately, that's not what's going to get you off the board.
What do you think of I mean, I have 29% of Kason Wallace.
Yeah, this is what I'm good with it, but it annoys me.
Okay.
Because I've been on this Wallace thing when people were playing him on these 2-game slates at like 4% ownership, 2% ownership, and now he's going to have some ownership, and people are going to react to the last game. I would say probably best not, but you've got other options in that later window with Peyton Watson and Aaron Wiggins that you can pivot over to. He just happened to have a big game and hit, the two biggest shots of the game probably against Denver in the last one. But his minutes are going to be about the same. He's probably like his median might be like 14 or 15, but there's going to be plenty of 5s and 6s in there. And there's going to be plenty of 20s, but I don't think you're like sort of letting it cook a little bit.
So for those of you that saw our noon thing, I put in some tilt bets for the PGA, and I'll make you guys rewatch that. I'm not even going to tell you who they are again. Like, if you want to see who I bet, in the PGA, you'll go back and look at the end of the baseball preview for today, because I'm not going to be around tomorrow. You got to find it, and your wallet is probably better off if you don't see like who I bet, because then you won't do the same thing. But definitely non-data driven
those bets.
And then it's funny, like, and below texted me afterwards, like, as it usually does when I do this. He's like, "Why do you bet on freaking DraftKings? They never have the right price. You should shop around." I know, I hear you, I understand.
But the prices you were getting were pretty incredible. You're getting 180 for Tom Kim is not going to win this tournament.
What I'm saying is, apparently everywhere else, like, you get better prices.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's the.
I'm lazy, and then I said something that I always like saying stuff like this. Like, doesn't matter. Good, getting the right price only matters when you win. So it's
yeah. And to answer Demetrius' question, what's the max you would bump them? I don't know what. There's no clear answer to that one. They're all different. They're all different players, but you could probably get away with just bumping them up a point, and it'll be enough.
All right, what about FanDuel? Let's pull up FanDuel NBA.
don't even know why. I feel every time I feel like that though, like why am I playing the NBA FanDuel one? And then I end up like I just won that one. Like,
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't know why I'm like down on it. I'll see what I've got right now. I tweaked FanDuel much less than I tweaked DraftKings. I'll tell you that. I did lower Caruso. I think these Caruso, like, look, it might look good when it works and stuff, but when you start playing like 40-50% owned guys from OKC, like either Caruso, Wallace, Dort, any of those guys, they just may not even play. Like,
but doesn't Caruso always get there?
No, he
Okay.
had 5 fantasy points the other night.
Oh, he did? Okay, I didn't even know this. Okay.
And Dort closed game 1. Like, I mean, Caruso's not even close to always getting there. Like,
Okay.
he may not even
Well,
get
he seems to get there when I pay
so his minutes in this series are similar to what he got there in game 1. That's it. Every other game has not gotten there. And his minutes are volatile, by the way. Game 3, if first of all, in a blowout, he's not playing. You know, like 20, 30. I mean, he played 9 minutes in the blowout game.
Right.
And he doesn't do anything while he's out there, except for occasionally, if they leave him wide open, he'll take shots, which they're going to do. But they're going to do that with Wallace, who's cheaper. You'll see Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe at times. I like the idea of the Wiggins thing a little bit more. He's played well in this series. It doesn't sound like much, but double digits in every game. That's pretty good for a guy who's 3K.
What is on DraftKings? How much is Russell Westbrook on DraftKings?
4,900.
Okay, I was going to say that's really cheap.
Well, he doesn't.
But I was going to say 4,900 on FanDuel is like extra cheap.
Yeah, but there's some like I bumped Russ up tonight, but like there's a lot of risks to. So if Porter is healthier, then he doesn't get some of this run. He's not exactly been closing, but they do bring him in for defense at the end of games a lot, which is interesting. Considering that everybody in the NBA idiot media just wants to destroy this guy all the time. And their defense has been awesome, the Denver's. But Michael Porter Jr. not being healthy, so it's going to go back and forth between the two of them. They tried to close game 4 with Porter Jr., and they closed game 1 with Westbrook. Game 2 was not a game, so it doesn't count. And game 3, I believe Westbrook played like low 20s, yeah. But I can see them getting down, and like what happens is you get desperate mode. Like, what if they're down 15 or not even desperate mode, but like we need a spark guy. That's when Westbrook might just stay on the court no matter what happens. You know what I mean? And this might be one of those games where they need him for that spark.
For what it's worth, John Birdie is out.
Yeah, that's a person.
Well, it's part of the Saberson. Saberson vibe stacks. I mean, right? Isn't he?
No, for sure, because he was so cheap.
Oh, wait a minute. What team is Birdie on nowadays?
The Cubs.
Oh, he's not on Miami anymore. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, this is interesting. So on FanDuel, I'm getting 93% of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I just find it interesting that I'm not getting that kind of exposure on DraftKings. That's all.
Well, I'm interested in what are you getting of Mitchell?
I'm getting like 16% Mitchell on FanDuel.
Yeah, I think that this
he's only going to play what 44 minutes. I mean, that's
I think Mitchell's the answer to the questions of what to do tonight. I really do. First of all, he's done it in almost every game. It's like, yeah. and I'm not saying like. I'm like if you don't play him like he's 91 and Shea's 10 or whatever, Mitchell is basically going to get there in a must-win almost all the time. He got hurt in the last game.
Yeah.
His usage the 2 previous games, and that's with Garland, 53%. I've never seen one that high. 42%, 53 and 42%.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get bumped.
Yeah, so I would actually like. I debated whether I would set a rule making sure I had one of he or Garland. And then I forgot I don't I don't know how to set the rules.
You know what?
I don't know how to set the rules on with the builder, but it's worked well for me since I've been using it. So I kind of don't like doing it. It's not just going to rules. I don't know how to do it the right way to make sure I have one of Williams or Garland.
Okay, can you see this?
Mitchell or Garland. Yeah, okay. No, I know where it is, and Okay, show me.
Okay, I don't use it too often, so it's
Yeah.
So you go to rules, and then you hit add new rules, add new rule,
Mhm.
and then you can call it whatever it is, but you click on manual here, and then you pick your players. Like you see here, this little guy over here. So what do you want? A minimum of one Mitchell. So you click on that guy, and then you find Garland like over here, and then you hit save group, and then you says Donovan Mitchell. So at least one player, just like that.
Okay, so let me try it real quick because I'm seeing, but I don't know what you're seeing, something very different than what I'm seeing, because I don't see that. When I go to edit players, there's no button to add them or anything.
Okay, so here I'll do it again. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it again. We'll literally do it step at a time. Okay, so we'll go click rules, right?
Yep.
Boom. Okay. Then you have this whole bunch of shit here, right? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go all the way to the bottom where it says add new rule.
It just doesn't show up like for me like that. Okay, so let me just try start it over again. So I just only have 3 things, and then it goes to the bottom, says add new rule.
Okay, so fine. So you see add new rule.
Yeah.
So click on plus.
And then manual.
Okay, then click on manual.
Yep.
And then okay. So then hit edit players, and then you'll just see like it looks like nothing happens, but something sneaky did happen. Like you see, like you have all the players in the whole grid there.
Yeah.
Go all the way to the left of the player name.
That's what I did.
There's like a little flower there, sort of. Or it looks like a group of people.
It just doesn't do it. Yeah, I pressed it and literally nothing happens.
But no. You click it. If you just click on it, and then it should like highlight green or something.
So I save group. Is that what I do after that?
Yep. Then it's save group. And then it should show those players in that
box.
box.
There we go. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And then you can call it anything up there, and then yeah. And at least one player, exactly one, nor more than one in that, you should be able to handle.
Yeah. I'm worried it's going to mess with the. I'm going to tighten up the pricing thing a little bit because it's already too far out. I'm worried it might get a little funky.
Okay.
That's been my fear of why I didn't necessarily want to keep doing it, but I appreciate that because that'll help a little bit. Oh, this pain is just killing.
Now another thing you could do. Now check this out. Let me just see here. This is actually kind of funny. So. These are the builds they actually made. Well, this looks like 9 lineups, but let's where is this? Build at what time? Let's see this. Let's see. I'll pull these up. Was this as of now? I just want to see this. 554. So 51 lineups. Let's extend this to say like 500 lineups, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's listed to 500. Like another thing you could do is you click on whatchamacallit. You click on the minus for Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it'll remove the Donovan Mitchell lineups, and then you'll find Garland.
Yeah.
And so now what it's doing is it's listing all the lineups with none of them, and then you could click, I think, on like the trash and like get rid of those.
Oh, that's another way. So it's another way to do it. Okay.
Yeah. And then I think that's what happens.
That's cool. Okay, I should have. That's good to know.
I think. Again, it's not usually the way what I do it, but I think the rules it works. You just got to just get familiar with it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll test it out on FanDuel on a smaller one tonight. I might have to go in a minute. I need to get a pain. This thing is killing me.
Which thing's killing you?
It's like in my shoulder, but then it goes into my neck.
Yeah.
And it's been brutal the last week. And then sometimes it's totally fine. Like when I actually work out, it's fine. I don't understand it. And when I stand, it's better than it is when I sit, which makes no sense because it's not doing anything. But I don't want to have shoulder surgery before the summer. I'm going to wait at least.
No, don't have shoulder. You don't want surgery ever.
Well, no, they want me to have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look,
so,
shoulder surgery is no fun. I know a couple of people have had it.
Oh, I know. My mom has had like 3 times. But I might go in a minute if that's cool with you, Sheets.
Sound fine by me.
All right. Well, do you want me to leave it going?
No, I'm good. I'm out of here.
All right, buddy.
So a couple of announcements again. So I'm out tomorrow. So Bobby will do the golf with Kenny. It's possible. I mean, it depends on how, because I got my thing tomorrow. If I'm not too tired, maybe I'll fire up live sweat later. I'm not sure if I'll be there for live either. I'll have to let you know.
Okay.
And then we got the big players. Was it players? The PGA Championship Thursday.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys play that. I'll put an MMA thing up, and this is the just so you guys know, this is the last, not the last one, but after this week MMA, you get a 1 week off of MMA. So let's make sure to grab that. NASCAR. Let's look at what NASCAR is this week. So it looks like it's kind of like an off week here. It's like an all-star week or something like that. So you're off of regular. I've been doing like esports like every night, like before, like I put in my lineups before I go to bed, and I put I do a video of it. So if you guys want to see what I'm doing in esports and how I build, you can check that out. What other announcements? Tennis, literally not every day, but usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays before everything kind of like before it gets to like 16 players left in the tournament. Golf. Are you going to do showdown ever? Are you going to put your showdown exposures up?
I'll put my showdown exposures up.
What's that?
I'll put my showdown exposures up.
And so I'm going to try to do showdown projections. Well, we'll try to cover as much as we can. And
yeah, it should be a fun weekend.
All right.
All right. Good luck, man. Have a good night.